If I ask you, are you a robot? You're probably going to go, no, of course I'm not a robot. But do you realize that you've actually been programmed? Not just you, we all have been. We all have been programmed. And it's an unconscious thing. And you might go, yes, the government programmed us, and no, that's not the conspiracy theorist I'm talking about. What I mean is because from when we're kids, we've been exposed to certain conversations, we've been exposed to certain ideologies. Our minds, especially as kids, are like sponges, and we just pick stuff up. We just pick stuff up, and it is those things that we picked up, especially unconsciously, those are the things that are driving our decisions at a subconscious level. It's kind of like when you're driving a car and you can take a phone call and you can still keep driving the car, right? Because now you're driving the car from an unconscious level. Your mind isn't really fully engaged in doing it. You can even find yourself, maybe this has happened to you. You started driving, maybe you got on a call, or even got lost in thoughts. You were thinking about something, and the next thing you knew, oh, I'm home. Like you arrived at your house and you cannot really remember the journey there. Yeah, you're on autopilot. That is program work, right? So we have a lot of that going on. The people who are successful have the consciousness that they have been programmed from when they were kids, especially when it comes to money. They've been programmed by what they heard, by what they saw, and what they experienced. So if you ever had a traumatic experience around money, it left a lasting impression in the back of your mind. And that impression is going to drive a lot of decisions that you make. If you, for example, anyway, we'll get into those examples, but traumatic experiences around money program you. What you hear about money programs you, what you see programs you. And those things, if you don't consciously ever take time, like I said, maybe a Friday night, whatever, take a couple of hours and just think through your beliefs and ideologies around money. If you don't ever do that, you're probably going to end up having the same results over and over and over again. So let's look at the different kinds of programming that occurs and what we can do to break through those so that we have and operate a millionaire mind, right? The first one is verbal programming. It's verbal programming. The question to answer around verbal programming is this. When you were growing up, and even now around your friends, what did you hear about money and wealth when you're growing up? What did you hear about money and wealth? The most common one I know for most people is that money is the root of all evil. Even though that's not what it says, the Apostle Paul wrote that, and what he actually wrote was the love of money is the root of all evil. Money is neutral, just pieces of paper, shiny metal. It has no objective. Money itself is neutral. It is the love of it where it becomes your key driver that's evil. But if you grew up believing that money is the root of all evil, guess what? Money, treat money like a person, all right? If you say money is evil, it will not live in your house. It will not, it can come visit, but it will leave very soon. Verbal programming creates that faulty blueprint. Some people grew up with the blueprint of or programming of never borrow any money. Don't ever borrow money from anyone. And yeah, it does make sense in certain contexts, especially if you're going to borrow money and you're going to waste it on useless stuff. Yes. But the problem is, if you take that never borrow any money, if you take that mindset and you bring it into the business space, you're going to struggle because pretty much every single successful business owner at some point had to leverage form of credit to get the business off the ground and even grow it, right? So never borrow any money is one of the verbal programming that a lot of us have received that's kind of holding us back. Another one is, okay, I'm going to ask this one in a different way. So think about, just check within yourself, like when you think about rich people, how do you feel? How do you feel? Do you go like, huh, these are the people ruining society? Or do you go like, wow, man, I'd love to be like that one day? Do you go like, huh, greedy people? They should be taxed more. Or do you go like, man, these guys are creating jobs and businesses. They should get a break. So if you think rich people are greedy, that is verbal programming that you probably heard growing up, and you may not even be aware that that's working in your mind. Then another one is money doesn't buy happiness. Someone said money doesn't buy happiness, but I would like to try anyway. Yeah, right? It says money doesn't buy happiness. Yeah, let me try and find out for myself. Right? Beverly says she got hers first from her parents. Yeah, that's where most of us got ours from as well. It's usually from our parents before the environment and society does its job on us. So money doesn't buy happiness. Well, the truth is, Happiness doesn't necessarily mean or you have or you do not have money. Like it's totally separate thing. Money can facilitate you enjoying your life. Yeah, it doesn't buy happiness, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't have it. So money doesn't buy happiness is one of the things, verbal programming, that affects us. Some other people say stuff like, yeah, money doesn't grow on trees. That's another one, very popular one. Money doesn't grow on trees. Yeah, people say that. And what they're trying to say is that it isn't easy to get. Um, and then there's another one that say there's more to life than money. And typically people that say this are broke.